Are they live streaming this too? That's what that is. I'm gonna stay here.
603, which is VFW, American Legion Post 170, our auxiliaries, and our Sons of Legion. I want to thank all of you for coming today and for welcoming you, and we can't wait to hear from the kids. So, at this time, I'll introduce Kevin Knievel, and then I'll bring him up later. But to start out, we're going to go ahead and open the ceremony.
Right you are. Post out. DJ, and good. Right there. Post out. Now. Salute the colors. Then forward.
Okay, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Mrs. Andrea Gale. And kids, it's all on you now.
I didn't change my name, it's Brenda. I just thought maybe people were wondering. We're going to start with our traditional armed forces on parade. I will say what branch we're playing, and please stand and be recognized if you were part of that branch. We thank you so much for your service. Navy and Coast Guard. Army. The Marines. The Air Force. I know we had each of you, each branch stand up, but could we have you all stand up at once so we can see just how many veterans we have with us today? next song the high school band is going to play is called A Nation's Prayer. As you can see, for the first year in a very, very long time, we separated our junior high and high school. We've been having the junior high play at the high school for several years, but we thought 110 students in one band was a bit much, so we separated them. And they're about to play a song called Patriotic Bits and Pieces. The group that you just heard was the 4th grade under the direction of Mrs. Cornett. This is the 5th and 6th grade. That side is the 6th grade. This side is the 5th grade. They're going to be singing We the People.
In 1787, in Philadelphia, delegates from the 13 states changed America.
This is the high school choir. They will be singing Keep the Home Fires Burning.
Our heroes know we support them. Their safe return is our prayer each day. So keep the hope fires burning, a beacon in the night. Prayers for peace are glowing through the candlelight. They know that we're all waiting for them to come back home. Keep the hope fires burning, soon they will be home. We know they all miss their families, but we all know there's a job to do.
They feel the pride, serving their country.
Each one of them is a hero we salute. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. So keep the hope fires burning, a beacon in the night. Prayers for peace are glowing through the candlelight. They know that we're all waiting for them to come back home. Keep the hope fires burning, soon they will be home. Soon they will be home. Soon they will be home. From sea to shining sea, to America.
Mrs. Gale, Mrs. Cornett, thank you very, very much. Brenda, thank you. Students of Elkhorn Valley, you never cease to amaze us. It's awesome to hear you guys sing and hear you play. It's outstanding. And it hits hard. Okay, at this time, I'd like to go ahead and introduce Mr. Kevin Knievel. Sir?
Please don't mind if I walk around, do you? Ask my questions. So, as Tom Nelson said, I am Kevin Knievel, graduated from Elkhorn Valley High School in 1969. So, that's been a while back, second class of Elkhorn Valley. It's a distinct honor and pleasure to be with you today, to be your guest speaker. I promise I'll keep it short. If I was to go through a lot of the history, I'd have 1,000 stories to tell you, but I'll keep it short. It's actually what you guys do is the main point of my talk today. That works. I've never been one to stand behind the podium, and so if I ask you a question, please answer. A little bit of history. I graduated from Elkhorn Valley in 1969, went to college for a couple of years, became a lab tech, worked up in hospitals in North Dakota, but I always had the itch to go to the Navy. So in 1975, I joined the Navy. I did 32 years in the Navy. I did another 12 years with Military Sealift Command. I was a medical officer on my ships, and the vast majority of my time was at sea, pretty much 19 years at sea and another 12 at sea. So 50 years goes by pretty fast. And the reason I'm not wearing my uniforms is because as time goes by, they shrink. So, that's why I don't have them on. These are my choker whites. I haven't had those on in 19 years, okay? My dress blues, same type of deal. Been about 19 years. When I was with the Military Sealift Command, my uniform was primarily shorts and a pullover top. And that's all we wore out at sea. To break these out, it was, I had to look at the medals. I had to see what I earned them for and so on. So there's, looking at the uniform, the choker whites, that's 32 years of history right there. Anyway, like I said, it's an honor and privilege to be your speaker. And it's an honor and privilege to see the response that Tilden gives to us veterans. Okay? You have no idea what that means to the veterans. It's kind of gut-wrenching, heartwarming, and everything at the same time. And I see all these little faces out here, and the high school students, and the band over here too. And I think of all those veterans that are going to be coming down the pike someday. They may not know it. I didn't know it when I was a little kid. You just end up there, and I can look at the faces on some of them and say, yeah, that guy'd make a good Marine, or that guy'd make an excellent sailor, or an airman. Now we have the Space Force, So, my big pitch for recruiting is this. You can go to college, you can get great jobs, let the military send you and train you and serve your country at the same time, okay? You can go to the University of Nebraska, that's fine and stuff, but don't ever count out going to the military. It's not as bad as what some of the veterans would tell you. Like my brother Leon said I was stupid when I joined. I never forgot that, so I always thought, I'm going to do him one better all the time. So, anyway, we have veterans that have passed. Harry Myers, Mike McGuire, Ener Anderson, Don Carter recently. All those names I remember from when I was growing up. And, I know there's a lot more, that I don't know or have lost contact with. But, like I said, I remember them and I owe them, because I was thinking, one night at sea, it was occasionally pretty rough out at sea, and I was thinking, geez, I wonder with these other vets that were out here in combat, when they had rough seas, but they had planes coming in and shooting at them and so on. I think of the turmoil and what they must have thought. So, it's a humbling thing to be a veteran. It is, because we know that the whole country is behind us, usually 99% of the time. There's 1% that they might not always agree, but the country is usually behind us. And the small towns in Nebraska, I know, are behind us. They love their vets, okay? They love their vets. And again, I appreciate seeing all the faces, all the little ones, the band members and students. I thank the faculty for setting this all up. I know it couldn't get done without you, so I thank them too. There are 4 groups of vets. Okay. There's us that serve, put on the uniform, and serve the country. And then there's us that retired after 20, 30 years, 40 years in some cases. Okay? There are the vets that passed away that that's another group. But the number one group of vets are the parents, the sisters, the brothers, the mothers, daughters, brothers, all the family members that support us when we're deployed, okay? Deployed over, wherever. If you're in Army, it could be in Afghanistan, same way with the Marines. If you're Navy, it could be in the Persian Gulf, and so on, okay? The number one group of veterans, and I call you veterans because every time we go out, you go out with us. That's the way it is. We don't forget, our sons and daughters when they're out to sea. We don't forget them at all because they're in danger all the time. It can be a simple shipboard fire. It can be a missile. It can be a mine. But every time your son or daughter, brother or sister, aunt and uncle deploy, that family goes with them. And that's the way it is. All my times at sea and so on, the long days of monotony, that's what we relied on. Does our family still love us? Do they know us? Have they forgotten us? You gotta remember, when I was out to sea most of the time, we didn't have email, we didn't have cell phone. Believe it or not, there is no cell phone out at sea at this point that I know of. Elon Musk might fix that, but we had to rely on mail, and sometimes mail only came 3-4 weeks at a time. Okay, and that's all we had to rely on. And it was exciting to get that letter to see. You find out about something went wrong at home, or just to see that, do they still love me? Okay? And that's what counted. That's what counted a lot. And you could tell the guys that were, didn't have a lot of support behind them coming from home because they would be depressed for a couple of days. I even had guys ask to read some of my letters, okay? Just to give them something, okay? So again, the number one group of veterans, and I consider you veterans, are the family that goes along with us when we deploy. The pictures on our desk, the pictures in our wallet, the letters that show up. Now they have email, of course, and we can get email, but that's what we relied on. And so I salute all of you that wrote letters to your family member when they were deployed and so on. I salute you. I will give you one story that's not going to brighten your day. I had a young sonar tech, STG-3 Ocampo, Andrew S. Ocampo. I'll never forget him. One of these guys that didn't have a lot of support from home. Okay? I think he had his sister, and his sister had better things to do. He was on one of my ships, the USS O'Brien, which is a destroyer. He always had kind of a sad look on his face. And he always stopped by medical, and we talked to him and joke around with him, and we'd read him some of our letters and so on. We got an order to change home ports from San Diego to Japan. And, so that was quite a undertaking to move family and so on. And a lot of family weren't allowed to go. Andrew, or STG-3, Andrew Ocampo, 3rd class, the day we were supposed to leave, we left at 5 in the morning. He said he owed a watch to somebody. He took the watch from the quarterdeck. And the quarterdeck is it's where we come across the brow and step onto the ship and so on. To prevent boarders and to make sure that you don't have any intruders. He took the watch and he was doing a roving patrol. And he didn't come back from that roving patrol around the ship. I come across the brow at 4 a.m. and they were looking for him. And, when you can't find your roving patrol, then you have to go to security alert. And so anyway, we looked and we found him in the sonar equipment room, deepest part of the ship. He had taken the .45 and shot himself. And that was one of the hardest days, of my life, because when we found him, he had just done it. It was just within a minute or a couple of minutes. If we had looked a little quicker, maybe in that space instead of another space, we could stop him. So bad things do happen, okay? No matter what we do, but I always think that if I would have spent a little more time talking to him, letting him, get closer to us in medical, we could have saved his life. For whatever reason, there was no note, nothing like that. But that was one of the hardest days that I had to do when I was in the Navy, in active duty. I always remember him, Andrew S. Ocampo, sonar tech, 3rd class. Okay? So, there's a lot of good days too. When we were getting ready to invade Iraq, it was, everybody was tense and so on. We deployed with my ship deployed. There was 2 full amphibious assault groups. That's 14 ships, and we sailed into the Persian Gulf. And when we all formed up again, and this is one of the pictures I lost. I had a picture of all 13 other ships lined up with their battle flags flying, and we were getting ready to land troops into Iraq, and the helicopters were spinning on the carriers and so on. And to see those battle flags and knowing what's going to take place, it made me proud as an American, even though people were going to, maybe die and so on, but it made me proud to be an American, that we were going to, put a stop to evil in that particular part of the world.
What's your name? Evan.
Evan, what's your last name?
Decker.
Evan. Evan Decker. Okay, so Evan Decker, I'm going to task you and so on. When you see a veteran, if you know they're a veteran, I want you to ask them, what days do they remember? What are the days that they, really stick out in their mind? Because every vet has those days. The good days and the bad days. They have them. And it's interesting to find out what their good days are. Stan Meyer. I bet you I can ask you what your good days and bad days are, right? Tell me a good day.
Good day, first day I jumped out of an airplane. Was second man in the stick, and when they opened the door, I could see the ground below, and it was a long ways down there. So you stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door, jump right out, and count to 4, and hope that chute opens wide.
That could be a good day and a bad day. That could be a great day and a bad day all at the same time. So Evan Decker, I want you to find another vet out there real quick and ask him what his good day and bad day is. Okay? Yeah.
Mr. Raymond, tell me about a good day and a bad day.
Good day would be getting out of boot camp. Probably the bad day was going into boot camp.
Yeah, I can agree with that. Exactly. So, I'm going to cut this short. And I know everybody's anxious to get out of here and so on. But again, I thank you for the honor to be able to speak to you. Okay? It means a lot. And hopefully in the future, I can, come back. There are things that, a couple of sayings that always stick with me. And one is by General MacArthur. And what he said upon his retirement, he said, old soldiers never die. They just fade away. And that's what we're not going to let happen. We're not going to let the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, the Coast Guardmen, we're not going to let them fade away from us. We're always going to keep them in our mind. We're always going to keep them in our thoughts. Okay? That's the way it should be. And that's the way I love to see how this is done. Okay? And the last saying, before I wrap this up, is, on thy grave, the tears of a grateful nation shall fall. Okay? So when it comes time for myself and the rest of the vets to pass away, I just hope that there's a few tears that are, shed my way. I salute all of you. Take care and always be careful.
Kevin, outstanding. Good job. At this time, I'm going to go ahead and have the guys form up and back. Sergeant Arms, retrieve the colors.
Flag bearer, retrieve your colors.
Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you again on behalf of all the veterans. We appreciate everything that you do for us, and hopefully we can repay you back. I also want to mention there's a Sloppy Joe feed down at the Legion, and it's free of charge, so anybody can come down there if you want and enjoy some of the Sloppy Joes from the auxiliary. At this point, this is going to conclude our ceremony. Thank you again on behalf of the veterans. Appreciate it.